Dave Weigel, Family Court Fraud Warrior Project. Family Court Fraud Warrior Movement. It's really become one now. I can't believe in 3 months and a hell of a lot of hours, but it's come together. We've got the infrastructure. That's what this piece is about. I'm going to give everybody an update as to where we are as an organization, how we've structured things thus far, and we're going to do a couple of other very specific pieces so we don't have monstrously long videos that are difficult for people with trauma to endure all at once or absorb all at once. Really, this started 14 years ago, about 15,000 hours, but it started with a plan. A plan that I fine-tuned, stress-tested when your children are taken. The fact that you can't think of anything else but that. There's a level of focus, there's a level of urgency that's not there in analyzing any other complex situation, organization, or problem. So yeah, it's a plan. It's a game plan. It's a war plan. Because this is a silent war. Silent war against an enemy that profits off human suffering, human agony. People that make their money harming kids for life and don't care. That's what this is about. So yeah, this is more than a movement. This is more than nationwide. It's global. And we got a plan that I want to tell you about now, and an infrastructure I'm going to tell you about now. So in 3 months, we've now got 1,200 members, growing every day, 19 volunteers, 2 staff, from one video I put out 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. I'm going to get into the organization of the volunteers because that's something important that we're going to need to go over. But just I'm going to give you the overall. We've got a 501c3 in process being set up. We've got an equity raise happening. So we're going to get some real money in here to do some real things. Strategic alliances are vital. Journalists. We've got the one hero, brilliant guy, Richard Luthman. So valuable. And a few others that are poking around the outside. I think it could be coming in a big way pretty soon. Documentary guys. They're capturing the birth of this from its onset in real time. I think it's going to be powerful. Podcasters, so important. Marianne Petrie, she's on our board. We need more. We've got to recreate the 5 o'clock news. Law enforcement. People have called me and said, I'm on the inside, I hate it. I can't stick my head out. But when there's 100 others like me, let me know. I'll get in line then. That's going to 1,000 real soon. Paparazzi, they still capture transparency. We may need them. PR firms, someone, somewhere, get me in front of Jordan Peterson, Jon Stewart, John Oliver. I mean, my pipe dream is Bill Maher and Joe Rogan, but I'm not that important. But this is. The fact that they haven't dove into this in a big way, that needs to change. This is the biggest story of our time. And then a biggest piece of the puzzle that I underestimated is the mental health side. I would say that the mental health side of this equation is as big as the fraud side. And we've got some real greats. Narcissist specialists. I'm embarrassed to say I didn't even know what a narcissist was. I thought it was what everybody walking around is. Oh, somebody who thinks that the whole thing is about them. No. It's a very, very, very well-defined clinical diagnosis that I can't diagnose somebody, but I know how to read, okay? And, if somebody checks off all of those boxes, it's something that can be identified, and it is very, very important because they fool everybody. They fool everybody. They live in lies in a way that will blow your mind until you've taken the time to understand how that brain deformity works. Parental alienation specialist, Charlie McCready out in London. He's an invaluable brain coach to me. He's invaluable. Every single session I have with him, he opens up something for me. because this is about trauma. Trauma, and managing that trauma. And then the last group is very important, is other leaders. One thing I underestimated in all this was just the human inefficiency of competing. You would sit there and think, my God, all of us are fighting against the same enemy, and it's about saving kids. Should be the easiest thing in the world to combine and collaborate well with. But I don't know. For some reason, there's this thing that we need to get over. And I just want to say that I am leading this pod only. Okay? Somebody wants to bring an idea to the plan, fantastic. But there's a reason there's 390 Facebook groups out there. And it's not a good reason. It's not something that's leading towards success. So we've got to really figure it out. I mean, I had a phenomenal conversation with this Kai Andrews down in Austin. I mean, she's sitting in front of Congress with Rob Garza. I mean, it's really, really important stuff. But she gets it. She gets it that these are politicians. They're in the business of collecting donations. Who donates the most? The people involved in illegal businesses that need the laws to look the other way. All right? I'd love to believe that there's going to be a politician, some hero with a cape going to fly in there and throw his career away. I think it's got to be somebody from the outside first. But it's going to be an important part of it. All right? Danielle Gandy, really just stepping up. She asked me to speak in front of her, I don't know if it's a specifically women's group, but it was all women in the group. And so many people have come at this from a women's rights and a men's rights, and I think that's a mistake. I don't think that helps here, and it's not in the data. It's not a men's thing. There are certain aspects that are specific about men and certain aspects that are specific about women, but it is not a woman's or a men's issue. It is a criminals versus victims issue, and they come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, I had a call, this is such a standout case, a jump off the page statistic, trying to help this one woman who's freaking out about her child. She called out to a friend. I got a call the other night from a woman, Vanessa, who heads up a women's rights and domestic violence group. And when I tell you, this woman was getting on the phone to fight me. She was getting on the phone to fight. I saw it from the beginning. And I am so proud to say by the end of the conversation, we were eating out of each other's hands and couldn't wait to trade information, because when we got down to talking about the kid, not her, not me, not the woman she was representing, but the kid, when we forced the conversation back down to the kid, white light moment. But I'd like to take a couple of minutes here at the end and just close on how we've structured our volunteers. All right, we've got a board of directors group that we call the Guardian Angels. All right, I'm going to leave people's names out right now for privacy, just for the moment. And then we've got a boots on the ground group of 16 people that are helping run the site and speak to everybody and try to get them to do the 3 to 5 minute video and understand this rethink. Understand the things that we've been doing in this community that have not been successful. Understand what is trauma and PTSD, and it's not really them, okay? And understand, that the more anger in the equation, the lower the decision-making quality. All right, we know this on Wall Street. It's not well known everywhere. And, our self-awareness is our superpower. That needs to be repeated over and over and over. Our self-awareness is our superpower. So now we've got these people also broken up into subgroups. Who's on the welcoming committee, who's on the troll patrol, who's on pre-member research, who's on social media research, who's on the video approvals. We're not just setting up a Facebook group, because this is not a Facebook group. This is a public ledger of evidence. We are replacing the County Hall of Records publicly on permanent public record. But it's got to be data, which means it's got to be the truth, which means there has to be processes in place of verifying truth, all right? And the big thing is people need to understand that this is not for everybody, okay? We can't analyze 1,000 cases. We have to have an alternative method. We're providing all of our volunteers with a list of very specific red light indicators, red flag indicators, and green flag indicators. And is it 100%? No. But when we get to next phase and the next phase and the next phase, it will designate as science. I'm using these same processes developed for research and analysis in the financial world. We're going to line it up on the right. This is financial fraud here, and this is what's going on in the family courts. Check, 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 check. Doing it publicly on a Facebook group. And somebody can be in Africa in the middle of the jungle and pull out and go directly there. This is what's so important. But people need to understand this is not a Facebook group. This is a public ledger of evidence that is so necessary to tie together, to take the conversation away from each one's individual case to look at the system as a whole. That is the only thing that is going to do this. And it does also matters who's watching, who's hearing. It's got to get to the normies. They've got to understand how wrong they've been thinking about this, how wrong they've been, with their looking down their nose at people that have lost their children. Now people can come in here and look at them and say, you were looking down your nose at me? Seems like you're the ignorant one. You didn't even know this was going on. And to give these people that pride back after the dignity raping that they have suffered, that's an important part of what this project's about as well. But I want to end on why these people are volunteering. Because I can't get people to work passionately that I'm paying $100,000 a year. It's amazing. They understand they're doing something for the greater good. All right? The best way to combat PTSD is help another. Do service. I don't know why it works. I never grew up this way. I'm not a Dudley Do-Right. But I want to move away from my PTSD, and this is what's helping. And people are getting at. They're doing it for their own children, too. These people, they haven't seen, almost everybody in my group has not seen their children for years. It is amazing they are functioning. And now they're functioning with adrenaline pumping through their veins. It's wonderful. They're doing it for their mental health, for their self-awareness. We're able to help each other. You can't see a broken brain with a broken brain, but your friends can. Your compadres, your people that are on the front lines with you, they can. It's an important part. And yes, they understand that we are an efforts-based meritocracy. We don't care where you're coming in from or who you are. It's how much you do for others, how much you do for the organization is going to determine how much of a priority your case gets. Period, end of story. Efforts-based meritocracy. And lastly, they understand that there has to be leadership. I'm not looking to lead the world here. I'm just looking to lead my plan. My plan that I started 2 years ago and spent 15,000 hours fine-tuning. If somebody's got a suggestion that makes sense, absolutely. But no one's walking into this home that I built with my bare hands and saying, change that furniture, I hate that color. All right? No. Okay? We're going forward. We're going to the North Pole, and we are selecting the leader that got his people safely to the South Pole to head up this mission going to the North Pole. Pure and simple. Because what we are dealing with here, people, is the most putrid, unbelievable, out-of-body experience to see these people engage in this business model of human agony. People walk by and they just, like a car crash, they don't want to look. We've got to be able to communicate it in a way that they understand. This is a silent war. This is a war to bring back decency, the rule of law, the family. It's vital. And we need your help. Thank you.